Welcome to the Murphy, Sam, and Jodi After the Show podcast. And, you can be a part, give us feedback. If you're listening on the iHeartRadio app, you can click the talkback mic, the little red microphone, and send us a message. You can always actually, just if you want to, send us a voice memo, if that's easier and you're not using the iHeartRadio app, to our website at murphysamandjodi.com.
So today's After the Show podcast is going to take you to yesterday at the house with this cheeseboard party we threw for our Taylor, who graduated from college this weekend. And so the family party was at the house on Sunday. And she said, Mom, I love cheese. So can you do some cheese at my party? So it became a cheese party.
Which was a great idea. I've never seen so many cheese boards in all my life. Every room of the house had some.
It was only four.
Yeah.
One huge and then three smallers.
Yeah, I think that's great. 4 is more than what most people probably have. Most parties
guess.
probably have one cheese board, you know what I mean?
Okay.
So, yeah.
Well, that big one on the bar is the biggest one I've ever made. That's the biggest board we own.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just really a tray that is normally in the guest bedroom.
Oh, I didn't know that.
You're not supposed to tell your secrets.
This is what this is for, my secrets.
Yeah.
That's a big board that normally just holds like a lamp or something, and I cleaned it off really good and thought, I'm dropping food on here. Do you know that big one, I didn't know how it was going to end up looking, and I really like the way that it looks, but it's because I went online and I didn't just wing it. There's no way I was winging it. I went online and learned as much as I could, and literally you have to have a method. Did you know that? I bet your daughter Maddie knows that because she was doing boards for a while for like a side hustle. You drop the cheese first. It's always like the cheese. So we did the Parmesan and then the ones that were cracker cuts. And then there was some sharp white cheddar. You put the cheese first, then you do the salty thing. So then I would pour the nuts there and the crackers. So you do salty. You just fill it up. And then the salami rivers and the salami roses. You just fill it up in categories. Mm-hmm. The sweet stuff goes last. And then you throw in any extras to fill it out. That's why it looked like an explosion of food.
Yeah.
It's so pretty, right?
Did anybody eat the salami roses?
Yes. This is my favorite part of the
like
party.
in one bite or?
I don't know about that because I didn't stay around to watch it happen.
How many pieces of salami were in each rose? How many pieces of salami?
A salami rose is 8 to 10 pieces.
Yeah.
Depending on how you feel like it.
That's
It's
a
lot.
mouthful, yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah, you're drinking about a gallon of water after you eat that.
My favorite part of the party, and look, we had a lot of people come in and out. It was open house style. So at first it was kind of small, and I liked the small party part of it. And then later when the family all started showing up an hour into the party, it was that where you have that low sound of everybody talking at the same time. It was a lot going on. Mm-hmm. The hit of the party, I'll get to my favorite part, but the hit of all the boards is the goat cheese. The goat cheese was gone because I did 2 different things. One of them had a pepper jam on top, and it was like a sweet heat combined with that cheese. That's fabulous.
Yeah, it was good.
Something I'd never done before, but tried because that's Taylor's favorite kind of cheese.
Yeah.
And then the second one was with honey poured on top of it. Mm-hmm. That one was the best one. Everybody loved that. I need to do that for every party I've ever done. So if
Wasn't
you're
it
listening
a special honey?
Yes, it was vanilla infused honey. You could do any kind of honey in the world.
Yeah.
When I went to buy that stuff to pour on top, that was a specialty shop store sort of place. And I tasted a whipped lavender honey. I know. I wanted to do that, but I wanted to pour it. I didn't want it to be that consistency of something whipped. And the other one was, Murphy, it was a orange blossom honey infused, honey, and it was delicious too. But for Taylor, this being her party, with every decision I made, I considered her, the vanilla was the way. I thought she was going to take that home, the vanilla honey, and she didn't. So it's sitting by our coffee pot.
Well, she certainly couldn't take the goat cheese home because
It was gone. That was the hit. That was the smartest one I did. And I
Yeah.
say that, I've never done it before. That was also me taking a chance looking online for ideas with goat cheese. Like, what are great appetizers with goat cheese? Because I wanted to surprise her with that.
Yeah.
Now, my favorite part of the party was at the end when it was sort of over, but family was still there. Like Taylor and her friends were still there. Phoebe was still there. The boyfriends were there. My mom was still hanging around, and my brother and Candace, my cousin Candace, who drove in 5 hours for this weekend. I started putting the food away. You know me. I'm worried about it sitting out for too long. I felt like everybody's been eating for hours. Surely they're not hungry anymore. And so I start putting stuff in baggies, and all the younger people, I say teenagers, they're, 19, 20 years old. They were like, what are you doing? You putting the food away? Then they started eating.
Yeah.
Like you start to take it away. James, Candace's son, he was so funny. He's like, wait, are you putting stuff away? What are you doing? It was so much fun. So I backed off of cleaning up, and they cleaned up.
Yeah. They were all still visiting, so
Yeah.
they had gaps between, because
Eating.
when you have something set up that is cheese and cheesecake and not really full meals or sandwiches, people get hungry again.
I guess
Like
so.
probably 90 minutes later or something like that.
You just want to try
So I
something
think
you've
that's what
seen.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Did you have a lot left over?
It depends. Like we had too much cheesecake. We have more cheesecake left over, so sweets. We had too much sweets.
Well, that's a win-win, though.
It is. One of them I'm going
Because
to
you
put.
get to finish them
I'm going to
off.
put in the freezer. One of them.
Yeah.
And the other one I was thinking of bringing here. One, you could have some, and producer Faith could have some if you guys like it.
Mm-hmm.
And we sent some home with Taylor too. We had too much cheesecake.
Yeah, I love cheesecake, but I can't eat that much.
It's too much.
I mean, I could eat that much, but it would not be wise.
The toppings that we had. This is also another hit of the party. Like learn from this. We had all kinds of toppings. Caramel that you could drizzle, dark chocolate that you could drizzle, strawberries, Oreos. But just because I had to, because I know our kids, I had 2 things of whipped cream. One was like extra creamy, just regular creamy whipped cream. And the other one was strawberry flavored. That was the hit.
The spray or like Cool Whip?
The spray.
Oh.
And it was not just the hit because it was delicious, but because when everybody left during that really fun time when they were still hitting the boards, whipped cream we played games with it. We got it all over each other. That was so fun. Like we did that thing. Taylor and Phoebe do it. You put it on your wrist or whatever, and then you hit your arm and you try to catch it. It goes flying in the air and you try to catch it.
I've never heard of that.
We did it.
That sounds like fun.
We all tried it. I think Phoebe's still the best, although Taylor caught one right in the middle.
Yeah, right. Jody was a little hesitant to do that, but I mean, I was all in. It landed on my nose, not on my mouth, unfortunately.
I just didn't think I'd be good at that.
Yeah. But
I just did not.
So finally, Jody and her cousin Candace gave it a try. So everybody did.
We all played with our food.
Yeah,
It was
not a
really
game to play when there's carpet around, but the good news is we have regular floors, so it was an easy cleanup.
Yeah, it was. No cooking.
One thing that Jody noticed, and I didn't catch this until after the party was over, my family is there. Jody's family is there. We're all one family, but what tends to happen, no one sees each other for so long that the immediate families tend to congregate with each other.
So Murphy and his family were in the kitchen.
So my brother and sister and their spouses
for like an hour.
Yeah.
And then me and my mom and that whole side of the family, my side of the family, we're at the cheesecake table for an hour.
And I felt a little bad about that. But I had actually spent a really good weekend the weekend before with your Uncle Terry and Aunt Jackie.
Exactly.
But
it happens in any group you get together.
I think in any setting like that, the families who are they're just everybody's catching up with everybody.
Right.
So,
it's not like you have tables with assigned seating where you're making people sit with people that they don't normally
right
get to see or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I will say this: the dogs were great. They were well behaved because they're sweet and old. But Sparky, oh my gosh. He never sat down and went away in his corners because he is a little vacuum cleaner and he wants to pick up anything that's dropped. And I went back into the family room at one point to check on Sparky and the kids. My cousin Casey's little girl was back there, Evelyn, and eating some food. And I walked into Evelyn giving him cheese. And I said, baby, I need you to not give him cheese. What's wrong with that? He loves it. I'm like, have you given him a bunch? She just didn't answer that question, which to me means she did. Sweetheart. She's a sweetheart. And then my Uncle Terry came in, and that's his granddaughter. He said, baby, we don't give dogs real food. They only eat dog food. And so,
well,
so we're going to watch him closely this week.
When I let Sparky out of his crate this morning, the first thing he did is he ran and drank water for about 10 minutes. So he must have been a little dehydrated from all the cheese.
Missed any part of the show? Get it all on the Murphy, Sam, and Jody podcast.